In Fort Worth, Texas, a group of protesters clashed with a group of Antifa counter-protesters outside a drag brunch at Fort Brewery and Pizza, where this group of three dressed in full tactical gear and rifles approached the protesters. And one man carrying flags with a sidearm begins to spray the protesters. Then another two individuals with rifles and tactical gear rush in, while the man that sprayed the protesters flees back to the safety of more masked and armed men. So I do want to point out that I am a fan of the First Amendment and your right to peacefully protest, but this is no longer a peaceful group. You can't peacefully OC spray a group of people waving signs while both you and your group carrying Antifa flags is heavily armed. Because what happens when Antifa sprays one of the protesters? The protester swings on Antifa in return, then Antifa starts pointing their rifles at them, then a protester grabs their barrel, and now we have a fully armed cosplay conflict? And it's only because that's their strategy of forced victimhood. Kick the dog until they bite back, then go cry on the internet on how dangerous the dog is. But good thing this incident occurred in Fort Worth, Texas, where the police weren't just going to let him get away with it.
He's right here. Hey, bud, you come with me real quick? No. Yeah. He's gonna come with us. He's right here.
That's it.
You ready to come all around, bud?
I'm not doing anything. We're gonna go get him. Get away. Stop falling.
Stop.
Hey, you
Stop,
take off running, you're gonna get thrown with that.
And yes, that is someone decked out in full tactical gear with cat ears.
What are you doing? You're back. Reach for that gun. You will get shot. Reach for that gun. Help! 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 Help!
As the arrest is going down, this medic comes barreling in.
He's asking for help in this room.
No, fine. We will take care of it later. Back up.
What does he need a medic
Back
for?
up.
What does he need a medic
Back
for?
up.
What does he
Back
need a medic
up.
for?
Back up.
He's calling for a medic. What does he need a medic for? What does he need a medic for?
And is arrested herself, which goes to show you may be able to get away with this aggressive behavior towards protesters and police in soft on crime areas, but Fort Worth, Texas definitely doesn't tolerate your unemployed behaviors, as a Fort Worth Star-Telegram reported on the protests, because after the protesters were sprayed, Fort Worth PD made 3 arrests. And the Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club attempted to raise money for their bail, but looking at their post on Twitter pleading for donations, the post got nearly 500,000 views, but less than 2,000 likes, where most of the replies were making fun of the arrested people, calling them liars on how they framed the fundraiser, and straight up laughing at them. And even if an unrealistic 10% of the people that liked the post just donated $5 each, they don't even come close to the amount of cash they need to bail them out, which really goes to show how little public support there is for this movement. This isn't like the Summer of Love, where the organizations got millions of dollars of donations and rioters got Democrat politicians publicly bailing them out of jail. This is a group of fringe activists and cat ears, claiming they don't have bad intentions, they just happen to be wearing masks and carrying firearms while demanding access to kids. I'm sorry, but not many people are going to jump on board with this one. Because remember the protests in Los Angeles over the We Spa incident in Koreatown, where Antifa attacked several protesters? KTLA-5 reported on the fights after a reported trans person took out their male appendages in the women's only section in front of kids. This resulted in a protest where 5 people were injured, only for ABC7 to report shortly after that the person that disrobed in the woman's area got hit with 5 felony counts of indecent exposure and had been a registered offender since 2006, with incidents from 2002 and 2003, and ABC finding 40 cases under his name for the last 3 decades. So this Antifa group got so caught up in protecting the movement the internet convinced them is the right thing to do, they actually began stabbing people just because the residents wanted to protect kids from a convicted predator. And let's run that back. A convicted predator is caught exposing themselves to kids. So Antifa stabs people to protect the predator. And this behavior isn't exclusive to the hyper-woke in America. This Reddit post from Australia is from a person that is proudly ripping down signs that list drag performers that have criminal records, but did so while walking around with their baby. And what a bizarre world we live in right now. You could still be pro-drag performers. Let consenting adults do whatever makes them happy amongst other consenting adults. But this Redditor has a kid, and feels a need to not only protect, but boast about protecting the people that allegedly have histories of preying on kids, just like her kid. And the worst part is apparently 4,000 Redditors agreed with her actions, which makes me believe this is not a real movement. As pointed out in the reply on Twitter of the original video, the likelihood of a large group of unemployed-looking individuals in matching military kits with incredibly expensive firearms are somehow not being funded by an outside source? Because I'm looking at individuals with tens of thousands of dollars of gear and equipment, but somehow cry poverty when it comes to needing a few $100s to post bail? None of this adds up. And I don't think it's exclusive to the fringe left. I think we're witnessing the same thing with the so-called Patriot group seen in Boston, all wearing matching pseudo-military uniforms, conveniently covering their face, which is why I don't buy it. If I got arrested for keeping the country safe or protecting marginalized kids, I wouldn't want people talking about the heroic ski mask guy with an anime voice going viral. I'm not Spider-Man. I'd want you to see me. I'd want all the girls I meet to say, whoa, it's that hero that stood up to an evil system. The only way I see that not being the case is 1, you don't actually believe in the cause, you're just collecting a paycheck. 2, you were just recruited as a useful idiot and willingly do whatever you're told. Or 3, you think you're a kitty cat. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on what's really going on in the world, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then check out my video on how mob justice went a very different way over in Las Vegas.